London, 1888. Gaslight flickered on cobblestone streets. Shadows danced, hiding secrets. One secret, a top hat, lay forgotten in a blood-soaked room. Jack the Ripper's hat, black silk, stark against the crimson. It absorbed the terror, the agony, the evil. Years passed, the hat changed hands, a grim heirloom passed down through generations. Each owner met a gruesome end. Some say it was suicide, others whispered of accidents. The truth? The hat whispered back, feeding on fear, growing stronger. The hat became legend, whispered in hushed tones. Some dismissed it as superstition, others knew better. The hat was a conduit, a window into hell itself, and it waited patiently for its next victim. Jonathan Blackwood inherited the hat from his grandfather, a frail man consumed by his studies. Jonathan scoffed at the stories. Just an old hat, he'd say, nervously adjusting his spectacles. He relegated it to the attic, a dusty box in the darkest corner. One night a storm raged. Wind howled like a banshee. Rain lashed against the windows. Jonathan, restless and unable to sleep, found himself drawn to the attic. The box beckoned, the hat's darkness pulling him in. He lifted the hat. It was surprisingly heavy. Coldness emanated from it, seeping into his bones. He shivered, a sense of dread creeping up his spine. He should put it back. He should leave, but the hat held him captive, its pull irresistible. The old auction house buzzed with whispers. Collectors and thrill-seekers alike gathered, drawn by the night's macabre centerpiece, Jack the Ripper's top hat. The auctioneer, a portly man with a handlebar mustache, relished the crowd's morbid fascination. Among them sat a young journalist, Amelia Gray. Drawn by the legend, she yearned to expose the truth behind the hat. Was it truly cursed, or just a morbid piece of history? Her editor scoffed, but Amelia felt an unsettling pull towards the hat. Bidding began, hesitant at first, then escalating quickly. Numbers flew through the air, fueled by greed, curiosity, and morbid fascination. Amelia watched, transfixed, as the hat's darkness seemed to grow with each bid. The highest bidder, a shadowy figure concealed in the back, remained anonymous. The gavel fell, silencing the room. The hat was gone, vanishing into the night with its new owner. Disappointment rippled through Amelia. She'd come so close, yet the mystery remained. Later that night, at a dimly lit pub, Amelia's colleagues laughed, recounting the auction's excitement. One of them, a cocky reporter named Thomas, dared her to wear the hat at midnight. "They say it shows you hell," he chuckled, taking a swig of his beer. Amelia, never one to back down from a challenge, felt a surge of adrenaline. The hat's darkness called to her, promising a story, a truth hidden beneath layers of fear and legend. She would prove her skepticism right or die trying. Amelia sat in her room, the top hat resting heavily on her head. The clock ticked towards midnight, each tick echoing like a drumbeat in the silent room. She felt a chill, despite the warmth of the fire crackling in the hearth. As the clock chimed 12, the world dissolved around her. She was pulled into a vortex of swirling colors, a kaleidoscope of terror. Screams echoed in her ears, disembodied and full of pain. The stench of blood and decay filled her nostrils, suffocating her. She found herself on a cobblestone street slick with rain and blood. Gaslights flickered, casting long, grotesque shadows. A figure stood before her, shrouded in darkness, a glint of a blade flashing in the dim light. Jack. Terror seized Amelia. She tried to scream, but no sound escaped her lips. She tried to run, but her feet were rooted to the spot. The figure advanced, its face hidden in the shadows of the top hat, a chilling smile playing on its lips. The world shifted again, the cobblestone street dissolving into a fiery abyss. Screams echoed all around her, lost souls writhing in eternal torment. The heat was unbearable, the stench of sulfur suffocating. Amelia realized with a horrifying certainty that this was hell, a nightmare realm of endless suffering. And the hat, the cursed hat, was holding her captive, forcing her to witness the depths of human depravity. She saw flashes of the Ripper's crimes, each one more gruesome than the last. She felt the terror of the victims, the cold, calculating brutality of the killer. It was a relentless assault on her senses, a descent into madness. Time lost all meaning. Hours, days, or perhaps an eternity passed as Amelia was dragged through the hellscape created by the hat. Each vision chipped away at her sanity, her sense of self dissolving into the overwhelming horror. She longed for escape, for the familiar comfort of her world. But the hat held her fast, its grip tightening, its evil seeping into her very core. Was this to be her fate, forever trapped in the Ripper's hell? Amelia clung to the last vestiges of her sanity, a tiny flicker of light in the overwhelming darkness. She had to escape, had to break free from the hat's hold. But how? She remembered stories of the Ripper, of his obsession with his work, his twisted sense of pride. Could she use that against him? Against the evil that resided within the hat? With the last of her strength, Amelia focused on the hat, on the entity trapped within. She spoke to it, not with fear, but with understanding, with a recognition of its pain, its twisted desires. The visions flickered, the screams fading slightly. The hat's hold on her seemed to weaken, the grip loosening. Could she break free? Could she escape the clutches of hell? Suddenly, a hand reached out, pulling her back into the world. She gasped, her eyes snapping open to see Thomas, his face pale with concern, prying the hat from her grasp. The clock chimed 1, an hour, a lifetime. The hat lay on the floor, its silk no longer gleaming but dull, lifeless. Had she won? Or had it simply chosen another victim, its thirst for terror momentarily quenched? Amelia didn't know, but one thing was certain. Some doors are best left unopened, some evils best left undisturbed.